Well, we had the Tory party chairman on Newsnight the week before last, the day after the election was called, and I asked Richard Holden then about the Tories' regular promises over the years to cut net migration. 2010, Mr Cameron promised in the election campaign he'd bring net migration down to tens of thousands per year. Did that happen?
Well, it's quite clear that's not what's happened.
Right. 2015 Conservative manifesto, the pledge was reiterated. Did that happen?
Well, I think we've also seen huge, big changes.
Did that happen?
No, it clicked
right.
in.
2017, Theresa May reiterated the tens of thousands pledge. Did that happen?
No.
2019 Conservative manifesto.
Victoria, you can go through all of these, and it's quite clear that we haven't achieved what we'd like to achieve.
It's really important because you've made this promise at every single election, and in fact, you've delivered the complete opposite. Because of policies you've implemented, the numbers have gone up and up and up. So I ask again, why should voters believe you this time?
I think in some areas, I mean, one of the big things that we saw, obviously, during that, at the start of some of those periods, was we obviously still in the European Union in 2015, for example, when there was no controls on net migration.
So, Deanna, we have another promise from the Conservatives to bring down net migration. We've seen it fall a little bit from 2022 when it was a record at 750,000 or so. Should voters believe your party this time?
I like to think people would and could, but I think you kind of highlighted the problem there. There have been so many bold promises on migration right back since 2010, and yet unfortunately what people are seeing are the numbers climbing. They're seeing pressure on their local resources, and so ultimately we need a plan. I think the point that many in the Conservative Party are making is that at least we are coming up with a plan. At least we've implemented some legislation to try and tackle this, whereas all we've heard from the Labour Party so far has been mainly rhetoric. I suppose that's the argument that's still being used. We have a plan.
They would argue they have a plan.
This is how politics works.
Deride it. You can say you don't like it.
No, but this is how politics works. One party says we have the plan, the other party says we have a plan. And I think all people out there want, all our voters want, is to actually see some action that will reap some results.
Is that true? Does Scotland want fewer immigrants?
No, I would disagree with that entirely. And I think that this is actually kind of the perfect example of where Scotland's best interests are sometimes swept aside, especially when it comes to UK elections, because in Scotland not only do we think culturally that our communities are enriched by diversity, but in actual fact our economy needs more people. We need immigrants to come to fund our social care, to fund our NHS, to better the economy in general. So again, this is where I would say that the Westminster, both major parties, whoever ends up in government, are failing to see what the Scottish picture is and act on it accordingly.
I mean, obviously 88% of the UK population lives in England, so what are the parties focusing on in the UK general election? England, and the two parties are both saying we will bring migration down. I mean, if Labour were here, they would say they have a plan. They would say the Rwanda scheme is a gimmick, and their plan, they would say, is to go upstream, to use counter-terrorism legislation to go after what they regard as people smugglers.